You know, when you've watched as much movies as I have, it's honestly really hard to see something that, like, truly floors you on a cinematic level. Something that takes you back and allows you to relive that iconic moment where you fell in love with cinema as an art form for the first time. It's something that all cinephiles share, and we've all had that moment where you just watched that movie that really inspired us to get into this industry. Something that I haven't experienced since when I watched Jurassic Park for the first time, or even something like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Two films that have honestly shaped my mindset on what I think makes a film truly special, and transcends the boundary in terms of what a movie can be, which of course is different according to the person. But dear viewers, I've once again experienced that magical moment, because I gotta say, Project Hail Mary is the absolute definition of cinema. Starring Ryan Gosling and based off the novel of the same name, this movie follows a science teacher named Grace who is given an opportunity to help the sun before it burns out, where he goes into space and meets an alien named Rocky, whose son is also dying. So this unlikely pair have to find out what's causing the sun to die and find a solution to it. This movie's been out for a bit already, and to be completely honest, I wasn't even planning on making a video on it just because I'm so busy, and I'd seen a lot of reviews already for it, so I didn't really know what I could add that would make my review warranted. However, though, I just got to see it again for a second time, and I don't really know how this happened, but it genuinely got even better than the first time. Not only for me, but my friends that I was actually there with who had asked me to go see it again. One of them, actually, and this is a true story, I looked at him and the credits rolled and said, "How was it?" And he goes, "I'm not gonna lie, that may have been the best movie I've ever seen." And you know what the crazy thing is? I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with that statement. Like, this movie is genuinely, honestly, on that level, where I could see someone seeing it as their favorite movie of all time. It's certainly my favorite of the year, and my first 10 out of 10 I've given out in a while, and the first on the channel's history, spoiler alert, which, yes, is what I'd probably give it if this was a normal review, but it's not, because I think at this point everyone knows how good this movie is. You don't need me coming in here saying that this movie is amazing, because I think people already know that, and I think that's why it's doing so well. Phil Lord and Chris Miller really knocked it out of the park, which is to be expected from the guys who directed the Lego Movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, 21 and 22 Jump Street, as well as the guys who produced both Spider-Verse movies. Like, they have a generational resume, and it continues with this movie. So take this video not as a review of Project Hail Mary, but a message to drop what you're doing and see this movie immediately. It's so peak, I promise you. I don't usually do this, as I know everyone's got their own tastes and opinions, but please, you will not be disappointed. I think that this movie really is going to resonate with people, and I think everyone should give it a try, even if they're not a huge fan of what they think this movie is gonna be, because to be honest with you, I don't even typically like sci-fi films. Like, there are very few that really get me excited and get me pumped up. Like, the only other film I would really say besides this movie in terms of sci-fi that's really gotten me this way is something like Interstellar, or maybe Star Wars, like Empire Strikes Back, if you really want to count that, but like, those are the only ones I can really think of. I'm Uncultured, and I'm absolutely not the target audience for this movie, but even though that's the case, I still freaking loved this movie. And that's the true power of good storytelling, and this movie has that and so much more. But if you're not convinced, let me quickly list off some things that are just great about this movie. The score, mesmerizing and inspiring. The comedy, hilarious. The effects, genuinely gorgeous. And oh my god, the characters. This may be my new favorite Ryan Gosling performance. The amount of energy and emotion he brings to this movie, it's genuinely insane. Like, so well done, especially when you take into account he's not even interacting with another person in the movie, but instead a literal rock. Like, Rocky and Grace's relationship is nothing short of beautiful and wholesome. Like, it's so real. It feels so genuine, and that's why this movie works so well. And not to mention, Rocky is one of the most wholesome characters I've ever seen, and it's honestly genuinely impressive how much the voice actor James Orts killed this role. This movie had me in a constant spectrum of just joy, hilarity, sadness, and just wonder. This movie is wonderful, and I encourage anyone who hasn't seen it yet to go give it a watch, because you will not be disappointed, like I said earlier. But anyways, thanks for listening to me talk about Project Hail Mary, even if it was for a little bit. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing so you can keep up to date with the channel's newest videos. But until then, go see Project Hail Mary. You will not regret it. It's perfect.